Hello everyone, it's Matrix here. Have you ever questioned what is the point of sticking around Final Fantasy XIV after you've caught up with MSQ? Should you now just unsubscribe since you're not too keen on doing hardcore raiding? Are you just wasting your life, logging on and off every day, wondering if maybe you might have already had that promotion by now and married the love of your life and be able to afford that GTR if only you put your money on those index funds instead of another month of subscription? Well, today we're going to delve into the topic of what do hardcore casuals do in this game all day long. Hoping this could be a guide or even an inspiration for you when you notice that all your guildmates seem to have such grand ambitions in-game, but you just can't commit yourself. To start with, let's look at the social side of things. There's a surprising number of ways you can communicate in this game. The Say channel allows you to speak to anyone in your immediate vicinity. The Yell channel goes up to where you stop seeing a person on your screen, and the Shout channel is for the entire map. Besides those, there's also Party and Alliance chat for when you're in a group content, and then you have the social channels like the Link Shells and Guild chat, and even the Novice Network. This may differ server to server, but when I first started this game, I actually kind of thought it was somewhat quiet socially. But now I realize it's because there's just so many other channels people were talking in. So if you're feeling a little talkative, just go on Say channel in a crowded area and just say hello. I'm sure you'll find someone friendly, and before long, you'll wonder where the time went. Next up, let's look at collecting. You've got achievements, mounts, minions, triple triad cards, blue mage spells, sightseeing logs, housing furniture, old relic weapons, the list goes on. All these things don't require you to do all of them at once. Of course, it's possible for you to grind for them in one sitting, and hey, that's also enjoyable in its own way. But personally, I've had the most fun collecting these one at a time or even just accidentally. Now, the next thing is probably kind of obvious, and that's progressing your crafting and gathering classes. My twist to it, however, is to actually give it a focus. What that focus is up to you. You could choose to craft to make loads and loads of gil. This requires you to pay attention to the market, figure out what's currently best selling, what events are currently pushing demand for certain materials, or even just buying and reselling items for profit across servers. Playing the market besides being profitable can be surprisingly exhilarating. Me personally, I focus on crafting housing furniture, whether it be for my own house or for my FC. Now I know that housing market in this game is rather terrible, but there's so much creativity to be had by even just getting an apartment or an FC room, and those are limitless. Other things people focus on are crafting endgame gear or progressing custom deliveries, but the point is, have a purpose for when you craft. For the completionist people out there, or just the ones that love a good story, side quests are some of the content that are best done probably after the end of an expansion, or perhaps before you move on from a map. You probably heard lots of advice out there saying to only focus on MSQ and class quests, but never tell you when to actually go back to do side quests. Well, even if you've completed all the MSQ in the game, thankfully no side quest disappears, so you can return to them whenever you want. From an immersion perspective, it makes sense to do them before you move on from a map in MSQ, but doing them well after you're done is still worthwhile because I gotta say, these side quests are actually so helpful in world building. It makes the game and maps feel lived in and makes you invested in the local folks' well-being. Finally, let's move on to Glam. I spent a lot of time on this. So yeah, on top of satisfying my collecting tendencies, Glamors have also been a driver for me to experience other parts of the game that I might not have otherwise considered. Take for example crafting. Early on, all I wanted to do was go kill some monsters. But then, I see this gorgeous long coat worn by a passerby and I realize I needed to be a level 50 weaver to wear it. Before you know it, I've got a weaver, leveled up, and suddenly I've found crafting to be so much more fun than I expected. The gear in this game are quite elaborate and multi-layered. They're not just painted on skins, and they're also not restricted to just fantasy or utilitarian designs. The game loves to nudge you to the role-playing side of it by letting you dress up to whatever role you want to be. So, it's no surprise that once you go down this rabbit hole, there's no going back. Seriously. Everyone's lives are different. Your schedules may prevent you from signing up to a static group. Maybe you're not feeling confident enough and don't want to disappoint others. Or perhaps at any moment now your kid is going to want a diaper change and you gotta go quickly. Whatever your reason may be, it is perfectly fine to never finish the latest Savage raid. It's perfectly reasonable that you have to log out this very second for real-world commitments. You shouldn't have to feel left out or that you're letting down your online friends if this is as much as you can do. And above all else, know that this game can occupy so much of your time without actually having to lock out long stretches of time to do it. So on that note, I hope you found one or two things to try out while we're waiting for the next expansion. If you have any more suggestions on what do hardcore casuals do in this game, definitely let me know down below. Bye!